Fanatically correct. Brought to you by us, fans like you, but mostly us.
In a dark corner of the world, three men will work together to bring you a podcast like no other. This is Fanatically Correct, where the fans, the geeks, and the nerds are always correct. With your host, M.s.K, Peace, and Omega.
Omega here.
M.s.K.
And we're spoilers.
Spoilers everywhere.
Last warning, spoilers. Spider-Man, No Way Home. Also pre-warning, there might be a couple of references to Hawkeye, the series. Also spoilers if you're not a cover. That was not so bad, but we'll probably start with that one because we're going to go with the smaller spoilers.
Yeah. Basically, don't watch this video if you haven't seen the movie. Just don't. Yopis, don't watch this video.
Yes. So we will. Yopi sees it on Sunday. That'll be his first time viewing. M.s.K will be seeing it for his second time on Sunday.
Second time.
Seeing it for my third time on Sunday. Catch it tomorrow on IMAX. So I'm pretty sure Sunday night or Monday we're going to do, I don't know if M.s.K will mend the videos together or it'll be a second video, but we'll have a full-on spoiler conversation, the three of us with three perspectives. Perspective for each Spider-Man.
For each one of us. Three perspective for three. I cannot believe, and that's it. The spoiler warning is over.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe they put three Spider-Men in one movie. And they did it perfectly.
They managed. I mean, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. What we were talking about earlier, the pacing was perfect. Time management was insane because not only they did it with the Spider-Man, they did it with the villains, with the main characters already from this MCU storyline, including Doctor Strange. Just
Ned, MJ, Aunt May, everyone.
And we'll get into Aunt May in a second. Flash Thompson, everyone just like they just did the teachers. That was great. That was so fun.
Yeah. He put up the mural. Mysterio was right, man. Mysterio was right.
So
I didn't put that up.
Because remember, he's the one that in the Homecoming, when Captain America was on the video, he's like, well, he's like a wanted criminal right now.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, Mysterio's right. This guy's a murderer.
Mysterio was right. So yeah, some of the students put this together. No, man, that was you. You did that on your own.
So going with the smallest spoiler out the gate, this is the spoiler for Hawkeye, and then pretty much after that, we won't talk much about it. We got our confirmation, not just from Kevin Feige, but now from the movie itself. Matt Murdock.
He's back.
Daredevil, greatest attorney that can catch a flying bullet out of nowhere when he's a blind guy.
He's a good attorney. He's a good lawyer. He's a very good lawyer.
We now we knew it because we both saw Hawkeye before seeing this, which I'm glad. And I strongly, I recommend and I hope through hints, without direct hints, I storied and I kind of said like, oh, Hawkeye's really good. Only one episode next week. We already know. I know rumors are that there is some kind of floating out there post credit, and I guess the rumors were it was supposed to be like. The rumors were there was going to be 3 post credits. So we had 2 post credits. We had the Venom thing, which is Sony. Then the Marvel thing was just a straight up trailer for Doctor Strange.
Straight up trailer. Yeah, they didn't have a.
Which is awesome. No,
it was great. It was unexpected. I didn't think we were going to get a trailer.
We got the What If Doctor Strange coming in that movie, which was rumored, and now it's true. That's going to be sick.
That's going to be insane.
And all things going on that. So, but there was rumors that there was a mid credit, and the rumors were it's going to be something with Matt Murdock. I feel now that rumor was incorrect because they're probably going to do it as the post credit for the Hawkeye series. Yeah, because Hawkeye hasn't been doing any post credits episodes. And it has to build towards something because with one episode left, I don't see it wrapping everything.
I think they have to set up Moon Knight.
So it's either setting up Moon Knight, another movie, or a second season the way Loki did. So I think we'll get Matt Murdock there because we got our Kingpin. And I know there's some things there because Kingpin was actually technically a Fox villain because Marvel, when they wrote it over, they didn't write him as a Spider-Man villain. They wrote him as a Daredevil villain, which is during part of the Fox agreement. So that's why we haven't seen Kingpin until Spider-Verse, which they have the animated rights, so that's separate. That's a different contract. Marvel did all kinds of stuff when they were broke.
Yeah.
Or before Disney bought them out.
Marvel did a lot of stuff just to stay alive.
Yeah, basically. So now we know for sure we have that Kingpin, we have that Matt Murdock. So looking good that we'll get that Punisher, and moving forward with that. But that was just a small thing. That was beautiful. They just threw it in there.
That was the beginning.
Like a nothing.
Very subtle. Charlie Cox.
Matt Murdock.
There you go. As soon as you see his face, it's like, oh man, he's back. Yes, which is.
Okay. There was so many, and what I like too is that like you said, it starts right where Far From Home finished. Yeah. So right there, you're energetic, you're moved into it, it's hyped up, but it wasn't messy at all. It was very easy to follow.
Pacing was perfect.
Any of development for those characters that just experienced that thing, and the incredible callbacks. One is a big one throughout the rest of the movie, but the small callbacks where the multiverse is real because Mysterio was full of crap. And they found that he was a liar and everything, but there is a multiverse.
There is a multiverse.
He just threw that.
He was pretending that he was as a joke, but yeah.
He's like, people believe anything now, but there is a multiverse. So the whole multiverse is real. And then the other one is what? With the Nick Fury's been off planet for a year?
Yeah.
He's like, what?
Yeah, because he didn't know that was a scroll. Yeah.
And he was hanging out with Nick Fury. So where's Nick Fury now to help him out? So you have that whole issue. But then the recurring one, and this starts going into the other Spider-Man, I think too, especially some great jokes with the Garfield Spider-Man, is the spider senses. And he had to maybe not perfect them, but really in tune himself with them to fight Mysterio because of all the illusions, everything. He couldn't believe his eyes. He had to trust his senses. And they really played on that in this movie where even when Doctor Strange knocked him out of his body, the way that
oh man, that scene was awesome.
And he was still dodging him because the body was just feeding off the spider senses.
The spider sense, yeah.
This guy,
it's Doctor Strange is like, how are you doing this? And he's like, that scene was awesome.
And then when he throws him into the mirror dimension, because of his spider senses, he's able to navigate through that like the wizards do. And then he used math.
He used math. I hate math, by the way. It's terrible. But he used math.
They just doing that buildup on the spider senses. And then, of course, we were talking about it earlier, the bread thing with Andrew.
So MJ asked Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, just like, don't you have the spider sense too? And he's like, yeah, but not with bread. And that was such a classic Andrew Garfield type Spider-Man line that it was.
Sony was smart. They didn't have a sixth villain in there. So I think that kind of threw a lot of us off because a lot of us were guessing who's going to be the sixth. Like we figured it was going to be a soft Sinister Six, and what they were holding out on was, us seeing who the sixth villain would be. Most of us thinking it was Venom because of the post-credit thing that happened with Venom. Instead, we got that with another post-credit. Yeah. But we already know, I don't know how they're going to connect that, but we're going to get the Spider-Man Venom because he left, which is actually kind of huge.
The symbiote was on the desk,
and had to happen. And all we got before is we already have the Eddie Brock Venom, which is supposed to come post Peter Parker. So it looks like they're just going to skip that whole storyline where now some symbiote has got left behind that will then most likely end up merging somehow. So it looks like
that's going to happen.
Another stab at the Peter, which the alien thing was great, where Andrew Garfield told Maguire, like, aliens at.
Yeah, you fought aliens.
I want to fight an alien.
No, what's great about those, I'm glad they brought back those two just to end their stories, specifically Andrew Garfield's, because I personally think he was my favorite Spider-Man. Maybe not the best Peter Parker, but he was an awesome Spider-Man.
He was fantastic. I think all of them, Tom Holland is still closely my favorite. You say Garfield's yours.
Yeah.
I didn't care much for Tobey Maguire's. I love it now. I extra love Garfield's now. And all three of them this is not the kind of movie you expected to get the performances you got, especially in that Spider-Man therapy session on the school roof when he just loved Aunt May.
Which was awesome. I didn't see that coming. Out of everything that you saw coming, I knew that Spider-Man were going to happen. I knew Charlie Cox was going to come back. And all those things were awesome. But the Aunt May thing, I did not even think about. Oh, wait, maybe it might be Aunt May that gives that speech.
And she did. She gave him with great power comes great responsibility speech. And we were kept joking that, oh, you know what? They haven't shown the Uncle Ben die. He did mention there was an Uncle Ben, but they gave no details as to what happened to him. Obviously, none of that happened to him because apparently it looks like in their storyline, Uncle Ben passed before he was even bit by the spider.
Right.
So was an influential person on him, but a parental figure. And we're going to the tragedy that is this Peter Parker because no parents, aunt and uncle take him in. Now no uncle, now no aunt. And then
he has no one. He has no one now.
lost Tony Stark, which Tony Stark
lost Tony Stark,
the symbolic Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben, yeah.
And he's lost everyone. And it was crazy because we were joking about they'll probably kill like 70 Uncle Bens in this movie.
Yeah.
Why kill 120 Uncle Bens when you can kill one Aunt May?
One Aunt May. And it was great. It was perfect. And what's great about it is that, each Spider-Man, Tobey Spider-Man, Andrew, they had that Uncle Ben moment. And I feel like Tom, his Spider-Man was missing that.
Yeah.
To actually become Spider-Man to me. He was missing that one like detail of just like real like heartfelt pain, you know, for him to really become, all right, this is I'm gonna do this on my own.
Yeah, well, the whole Uncle Ben story is, and that's where that powwow was so emotional, because when he hadn't experienced it yet, and that's what he said, well, her death's not in vain. It was like a destiny thing, because what he hadn't experienced yet was someone died because of him.
Because of him.
His being Spider-Man situation, which that's how Tobey Maguire lost Uncle Ben. And, he tells his story, which is the more classic comic book story. He lost Gwen. And why? Because Gwen was helping Spider-Man fight Green Goblin and Electro. And he now, because he's Spider-Man and because of her helping him be Spider-Man and help these villains and all that, it cost her life. So now he has that same tragic story of, because of being a hero, I lost someone I cared for, which was the perfect direct connection to why he would then sacrifice everything he had left.
Exactly. Yeah.
For MJ and for Ned, to save, the freaking universe, at least his, and just genius. Yeah. And
more importantly, he had to go through all of that, and now he has to start on his own, which is what Tobey did, which is what Andrew did. They didn't have Stark technology. They didn't have the Avengers, this is like for sure on his own, Yeah,
that Avengers conversation was great. Like, I don't know what for me neither. He's like, I'm with the Avengers.
I have, and then he taught him how to become a team. Yeah.
We were in a band. But I think you're right. That does look like Tobey's apartment at the end with the
I think it is. I think it's the same apartment Tobey was in Spider-Man 2 and 3. I think it is, but I gotta look it up.
The broke Peter Parker route, his own suit, no friends, the whole happy thing. So I mean, it's kind of like the blip thing. It's a little roughly hashed on how that works. Because apparently they know a Spider-Man, they just don't know Spider-Man is Peter Parker. And really forgot that stuff. So there will be a balance whenever he comes back. They
just don't know Peter Parker existed. It's not. That they don't know he's Spider-Man. It's like he doesn't exist.
Yeah, which is crazy. But
which is even worse.
Yeah, they upped the ante because originally the original spell was to forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
Was Spider-Man, exactly.
So messed up. And then the only solution was to forget Peter Parker. So Spider-Man exists, Peter Parker did not.
He's gone. He had to take his GED. You saw him with a GED book at the end.
In a post-blip world, it's like almost like, wow. So how they work that out and whatever next stage they have for Spider-Man in the future coming up. But so well done. I mean, it was just incredible to see those performances from those Spider-Man.
And they're all different too, right? Like Tobey, you could see that he's more of like the mature, I've been doing this for a long time, Spider-Man.
I feel they're really set up him to be like, as they hinted at it in Spider-Verse in the animated, that was that Spider-Man, because they showed the whole dance scene that we all make fun of from Spider-Man 3 when he was dark and he was dancing on the street. But then they kind of recertify that in this film, because then Tobey Spider-Man himself, live action, has the bad back, which that scene was great with the cracking of the back and everything. And talking about, do you have someone like, my MJ, and it's complicated. And remember in Spider-Verse, it was complicated because they were kind of separated. And then I'm like, dude, they're like 100% lining him up as the Miles Morales Peter Parker from Spider-Verse.
Peter B. Parker.
Yeah, exactly. Peter B. Parker. And then unfortunately, till the end for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, it sounded like Garfield's Spider-Man was just tragic. Like he's like, I tried to move on, whatever dudes, but it's just rage. Like he's still just a lonely guy, broken from losing Gwen. Yeah. And I'll tell you, I did say, I'm like, it would have been a completely missed, horrible, terrible.
If they didn't do what they did. Yeah.
If they didn't do the Garfield saving MJ. Like, as soon as I saw the trailer, I said, Garfield's going to save MJ.
He has to.
It has
to go full circle.
I didn't even think. I thought that they played with, because the same way that they removed them from certain scenes.
Yeah.
Fully show them. I thought that they played with some editing to make it look like when he was diving, he was diving for her. I thought it was like, no, it's not going to be him. It's going to be the Garfield Spider-Man dive for her and catch her.
No. It was Tom Holland Spider-Man diving.
And
he got hit by the glider.
Which it was the same thing. He was stopped by technically Green Goblin, and he was stopped by Goblin from saving her. But what I wasn't expecting, I was expecting it to happen, and even in my mind, it was going to be like the audience gets emotional, like, yeah, that's beautiful. But him broke down in tears. So emotional, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Are you okay?" Because he was like,
"Yeah." And it was great because he held that moment where he's crying, and MJ's just like, "Are you all right though? Like we're good."
That's how you get a good actor to do something like that. Because even I, big fan, fanboy imagination, I wasn't expecting that. So even if I was expecting to happen, it happened way better than my mind had it. And so,
but the pacing is still good because they didn't leave it too long where it meant it was all about Garfield. It was still a full-on Tom Holland movie. But what they did is they closed off Garfield's storyline perfectly. He was in on the joke of everyone thinking he sucks, right? Which I don't personally think he does. But the part where you're amazing. Hey, don't say that. You're amazing.
I just need to hear
which
that.
Is what Toby tells him that, and it was awesome.
So well done. But everything about it, and I even like the way that they communicated back and forth with Dr. Connor, which that scene was great about the Miles Morales. Oh man, Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is being Jamie Foxx in this one. He didn't have to.
He is Jamie Foxx, which is way better. Let's be honest. He was way better in this one.
Just the standard pretending I'm not butt naked. It's so fun.
And all of the villains, man, all of those actors, Willem Dafoe, 20 years later, still killing that role. Most
hardcore villain of the lineup that they had there.
Yeah.
Which usually in the Sinister Six, which again, it's not the Sinister Six, it's Doc Ock, because they cured all of them before the end, which is cool. You know what I mean? It's like he's the most.
They redeemed all of them. Spider-Man. All of them are fine.
All five of them. But even then, it's like when you had that moment with Tobey, the reintroduction moment with Tobey Maguire's Spider with his Peter Parker and Dr. Otto Octavius. They laugh at that. It was just like everything about it. It's like, oh, look at you, you're all grown up. And he's like, and same thing, I'm trying to be better because he's like the has-been Spider. I'm like, wow, they're really driving, that version of the Spider-Man. And then the one is like, he has like the most potential now between the two of them because he's still younger.
He's still young.
And he's kind of getting like lifted up, what there's
still hope for him. There's still hope for Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man to keep doing his thing.
And he kind of has that same Spider-Verse thing that they sold you have brothers now, I was wondering,
which I totally think these guys are coming back. I don't know when, I don't know in what capacity, but they are coming back.
The chemistry between the three of them was fantastic.
It was awesome.
And I really hope, it sucks for people who aren't rushing out to the theaters to see this because I really do hope, unfortunately, that within 2 or 3 weeks, they're doing stuff together, right? Like the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
They're the trailers so we can see the three of them together on the Tonight Show.
It's going to be hilarious. The thing is, I don't know if you've seen Andrew Garfield try to lie to everyone that he's not in the movie. He straight up was lying. He was like, I'm not in this movie. Tobey Maguire, on the other hand, he was just like, oh yeah, I'm in this movie.
That scaffolding picture was not doctored.
It's not doctored. It's not doctored. All of those pictures are legit.
Yep.
Were legit. They were all in the movie.
Yep.
So, I mean.
But yeah, I was amazed by the way they were able to handle 5 villains, 3 Spider-Men, and everything else going on. Doctor Strange, Wizard Supreme.
Yeah. And still have impactful moments like the Aunt May moment. And I mean.
The Aunt May moment, the Dr. Ock moment, the MJ catching MJ moment. I mean, just so many moments they were able to capture and be emotional. I was surprised. I wasn't expecting for this film to get that emotional. And every time that Aunt May moment blew away any Uncle Ben moments. The closest thing to it was the Gwen. The closest thing on a Spider-Man movie.
Impactful, yeah.
Was the Gwen, where you had that type of reaction. And why? Because same thing, you had a strong actor, a strong performer. Perform that loss, and it was just so well done. I mean,
she stuck to she was very adamant, like, hey, we still didn't make a mistake here. Like, we still need to help these people. He got her killed, but
Oh, and all the web. So going back to that, all the web shooter stuff is great. It's like, wait, what? And
Yeah.
I don't know, because a lot of people were loud laughing and like excited during a lot of scenes. But there was at one point where they crossed through each other's webbing, and Garfield's like, oh, gross.
Yeah. That was awesome. That's when they were fighting and they didn't know how to become a team.
Yeah, and then that was cool once they started working as a team. That at one point they grabbed each other's weapons,
through each other. Yeah, it was awesome. It was so good, man.
Yeah,
so well done.
Spider-Man 3.
And they did the meme, by the way, when they were in the classroom at the high school. They're like, Peter, and Ned said Peter, and they were like, you,
Peter Parker. Like, yeah, Snowball Peter Parker.
Just they did the meme. They basically did the meme. It's like, no, but and they had to do it, and it was perfect, man. It was
so many callbacks, so many little details, so many Easter. I mean, just like everything, and amazingly, 95% of what we were presented, we either saw in the trailer or just knew, like it was
gonna happen. Yeah, but we didn't know. We didn't know they were gonna be in that movie that long, though. I expected them to be in the last scene or two.
Like
they were in it for a while.
Like that end game moment that they're gonna come at the last minute and help out. I thought, based on the trailer, and I think that's why they did it, to throw people off. When the Statue of Liberty scene with Doctor Strange and you start to see the ripples open,
that's where you thought they would come in.
And what you saw, there was a Kraven and a Scorpion. Kraven, there was a few little Easter eggs in there too.
And the Rhino, you saw Paul Giamatti's Rhino there.
Oh, he was in there too, the Rhino?
He was on there too, yeah.
I'll see it again tomorrow on IMAX, so I'll catch it tomorrow. But I'm gonna do that on purpose. But yeah, and I didn't see any Miles Morales thing other than the joke with Jamie Foxx and Garfield. You know, I was expecting you to be black, and he's like, "Oh, sorry," and he's like, "Well, I'm sure there's a black Spider-Man out there somewhere," and for the Miles, so like that was
gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when.
Which the trailer for the next Spider-Verse movie looks incredible, so I'm looking forward to that. Which is weird. Yeah. It's Hawkeye, Kate
Bishop. Yeah, Haley Stanfield is doing the voice.
Haley Steinfeld. But yeah, it was incredible. But yeah, so I honestly thought the same thing, that was the scene that they would just jump through portals and just help, like a mask off. Hey, like, just a moment. And of course, for us, the fans, like, yeah, great. But I wasn't. I definitely
as soon as Ned opened up the portal and it was Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, that's when people started clapping and they gasped for Daredevil for the Charlie Cox scene. But when Andrew Garfield walked in, everyone started applauding. Everyone.
Yeah, and it's over. No, but I love when Ned's talking about the friend, and he's like, "Did you have a best friend back in your world?" Whatever. He's like, "Yeah, he died in my arms after trying to kill me." And then like Garfield's like,
"Yeah." He's like, "Dude, Peter, I promise, I'm not gonna kill you. Don't worry."
Anyone try to kill you is great.
Yeah,
great.
It was great.
Everything about, amazing how they were able to have so many like jokes and it still be so serious. You know what I mean? Through the film, like it's that big Marvel recipe, and they punched it.
But this one didn't feel, because a lot of times in Marvel movies, there's Iron Man 3, a lot of jokes that it's too much. Iron Man 3. They didn't do this. They didn't do that in this movie. It was perfectly. The pacing was incredible. I think the pacing was great.
We're gonna kill off MA and leave this kid did not have a happy ending. He has
nothing. Nothing.
Lines right up with Garfield's ending of part 2. You know what I mean? Of like, I'm gonna keep on trucking, but
at least he still had his Aunt May though. Like he has nothing.
That's what I'm saying. He's actually more tragic than the Garfield one, because he literally has nobody. It's insane. And not even Garfield has him and Jamie Foxx's character, Electro. I guess they can have some type of relationship. Even Dr. Connors, he has Dr. Connors.
Well, I don't know how it's gonna work now, because all those people go back to the universes. Yeah. I think that's gonna start a different time. That's another thing. Yeah. Where I think that will start a different timeline where none of those people died and everything goes back to normal. It's gonna be a thing. Because then it makes no sense, right? Like they're cured, but they have to go back. So what happens when they go? Like, are they gonna? At what point do they go back where the first movie doesn't exist? Like,
would be before we get too nerdy and theorizing, but it's gonna have to be alternate timelines now.
It has to be alternate timelines, yeah.
If they do, it's gonna be in Sinister Six, because they're gonna have to revillainize some of these characters. And speaking of revillainize, man, you're right, man. That William Dafoe Green Goblin, of the villains, he stole the show.
he stole the show, man. And I thought Alfred Molina from the trailers, he was a badass. He was great. But William Dafoe, man, he was 20 years later. 20 years later.
Sure if we were gonna get Connor and Sandman back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, hey, it sounds exactly like them, but I wasn't sure if we were gonna get the actual actors.
Yeah, the actual act. I knew there were. It was voiceover work most of the time, but yeah, I didn't think they would come back.
Sandy, because in Spider-Man 3 they would jump between sand and like human looking. So I was like, oh, I don't think they're gonna show this guy because they're purposely gonna make him look like mud. And he's like, did you bring like a cyborg into my house? A cyborg? Like,
yeah.
But, so I wasn't sure we were gonna get them when we did. So I mean, they brought back all these actors. I mean, and what like they must have loved it. I mean, it's just like this is genius. Most of it was voiceover work specifically for Sandman, and I love the comics. Like even Electro, when Electro would spark up, he had the classic, the star.
Yeah. No, even before that, Lizard was like, "Hey, man, did you get like a makeover here? Like, you look completely different." He's like, "I like this look.
I like this world. Yeah, the world changed. The electricity, the power thing. But when the dinosaur talks, I didn't know he could talk. But you could talk.
Oh man, it was
very well done. Very well done. I'm amazed by. I can't wait to see it again tomorrow and see it on Sunday. The people I saw with GAT. What I said earlier on the spoiler-free review, which is a friend of Yo Peace, is our co-host. He does beats with him and stuff like that. I'm seeing tomorrow actually with Yo Peace's little brother, Jedi. You'll be seeing my wife on Sunday, which I got to see with my wife today too. So the wife loved it. She's not the biggest like.
No, she didn't fall asleep, so she's good. That means she likes it.
Stayed wide awake for this. She laughed a lot. She really enjoyed Shang-Chi because she's a big Awkwafina fan.
Same as my wife.
Yeah, she was laughing a lot in this one. Laughing a lot. All the things, but the emotional, man. Like you heard a lot of sniffles during the Ant-Man.
I heard a lot of there was a lot of teens in my theater, and they were sniffling, man.
And 3:00 showing. School got off at 2:00. Like, and you were saying things like our theater was empty till like 2:45, and then all of a sudden, boom! All these high school kids showed up.
Yeah.
And like,
I heard sniffling, and at the end, I wanted to save it for this one, but at the end of my movie, as soon as Tom Holland Spider-Man went off screen, you see his face or whatever. There was one guy, I swear he was like an older gentleman. He was just like, that was the best one I've ever seen. It sounded like Stan Lee. I swear to God.
That's awesome.
I was like, what? And everyone was looking around. He's like, that was the best one I've ever seen. Best one.
It is definitely by far for me the best Spider-Man movie, hands down. But again, this is one of those scenarios where thanks to all the other Spider-Man movies, like you can't. Like it wouldn't be good if all those other things hadn't happened and built up to this.
Exactly.
But it
makes all the other ones better too. Like you go back and watch those movies, it's gonna be better.
For me, it did like what A New Hope, not A New Hope, what Rogue One did for A New Hope in Star Wars, which it took all these little things like memes and jokes and stuff like that from the other two Spider-Man movies and made it whole, and it made it extremely important to this movie. Like I am so looking forward now to binging. I actually they've been playing them on FX. So I did recently see both the Garfield ones and the previous Tom Holland ones. I have not re-seen the Tobey ones. I want to re-see them now.
And the Garfield ones still hold up, I'm assuming. Yeah, they were the good ones.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, the Tobey ones are a little harder, but it's funny now to see the organic webbing, which we all had a problem with before. But it's just, you know, when you make it part of the joke and you bring it into the fold, it's like it makes it better. I can't believe they asked that with the thing about does it come from other parts of this?
Yeah. Yeah, for a Disney movie too. For a Disney movie,
I don't do breathing. I just breathe. Like I don't make web.
Man, I can't believe 20 years later I'm watching Willem Dafoe and Tobey Maguire on the big screen.
Willem Dafoe looks better. Yeah,
he looks good, man. They look. And Tobey Maguire doesn't look bad either. It's just I love the scene. I love the scene that he was just like, "Hey, are you gonna put your Spider-Man suit on? Because are you gonna be like a cool youth pastor or something?" Or
they purposely aged, Maguire up because he's, aged and time has gone by. Remember, the supposed to be plucked out right before he died. So,
because he's dead. Exactly.
Yeah, youth him, and luckily the actor, Willem Dafoe himself, looks great.
Same thing as Alfred Molina too.
And it's amazing because he was actually Hobgoblin in this one.
Yeah, pretty much.
My theory was that they were actually bringing in the other Green Goblin as well, the Andrew Garfield Green Goblin. That was going to be a surprise. But then right away we realized it with the hood and everything. I'm like, oh, and especially once it blew open, I'm like, oh, he's basically Hobgoblin now. He had the same look with the hood.
And he had like the scarf thing going on.
Yeah, it was genius. end up being Hobgoblin. So he's Green Goblin and Hobgoblin.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't try to like make Toby look younger. Like I'm glad it was just him, his age. You know, it's just from a different time period. He's an older Spider-Man, and they plucked him out for it.
The same universe, but just plucked out later in time.
Later on. Yeah.
Except they arrived later as well. So if you think about like however the magic will work, that's what happened. First, these guys got plucked out at their moment of death, and then the spell's still going, for a moment, and then the Spider-Man themselves, because they know that's Peter Parker Spider-Man, they came through at a later time. So it was very, very cleverly done. I mean, everything, the storyline, the plot, the pacing, the performances, the acting, I mean, everything about it is just like genius, man. I'm so looking forward to seeing it too.
I want to see it again, man. I want to see it again. I can't wait. A Sunday.
No, that's like that. That's the epicness. Like Shang-Chi, I was like, once that's on Disney Plus, I want to see that. Black Widow, which I love the little sister, by the way. She's so good on Hawkeye.
Yeah. She's awesome.
Great. Yeah.
First time in New York.
Yeah. For the mac and cheese, like she's
Are you done with that? Are you done?
Yeah, she's great. I can hot sauce. Hot sauce.
Yeah.
Love hot
she's
sauce.
Awesome. She's so different from Black Widow from Natasha that it's a good addition to
the whole blip thing. You know what I mean? Like they use it well.
Oh man, that scene. I know we're trying to talk about Spider-Man in this.
It's connected. It's connected.
That scene where she's in the bathroom, and you don't see her blip out. You see the room change because she had blipped out. It was the best. It was the best shot from yesterday's episode, from the last Hawkeye episode. It was the best.
Remember, WandaVision did it too, a Rambo, when she was by her mother's side, and then came right back. But they didn't change the room much.
They didn't change the room. Yeah, no, the room changed, like the colors, and you see it. Like
this one, they got deeper into her particular situation of being gone for 5 years. So it's interesting on how that's all going to play out. But that was just a side note with that. But the whole thing is that, but they're playing with that, with the 5-year blip thing, and how that plays also into, to No Way Home. You know what I mean? It's just everything about it. I mean, I was, for some reason, in the back of my head, and that's, I think, what threw me off. I was hearing a lot that from premiere night, there was a lot of emotions. For whatever reason, I just didn't think in my head they'd kill off, Marissa Tomei, Aunt May. So I thought, are they bringing Tony Stark back? Is that going to be the real big surprise? And that's what doing all this other stuff, whatever. Is like, is there going to be a Tony Stark moment again, and he's going to die again? I mean, almost like I thought he was going to have the official Uncle Ben moment was going to come somehow from Tony Stark. So all feeds from that, and that's why I was completely unprepared for Aunt May. I personally,
that was shocking to me.
I did not guess that at all, and it was just so impactful. But yeah, man, it's that hype of the end game proportions, man, of that Infinity War proportions. Like, I cannot wait to see this again. Like, I just can't.
I'm telling you right now, and this is gonna sound controversial, and I'm gonna try to explain this as much as I can. All right, the moments in Endgame are still the best moments in MCU history. The Captain America, getting the Thor's hammer. Tony Stark, Snap, all those moments are still the best moments and amazing. This is a better overall movie.
No, I agree with that.
Better overall movie.
I think I agree with you, because this is a film that it was a great story that used special moments to bring in characters and to drive home certain plot lines. And I will give credit to that. Endgame was, we have all these cool moment ideas, and now let's string them together. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It felt like they first came up with a bunch of cool moments and then wrote a story to connect all those moments together, as opposed to, here's a good story, now let's create some great moments in this story.
Right.
That's definitely what this felt like. This felt like, okay, we have these two other Spider-Men, we have this situation coming off of Far From Home. And from what I understand, this was originally going to be a Craven script. So they definitely changed a lot. And
they changed a lot.
They changed a lot to the point that it affected, because we know it, he said it in the last Graham Norton interview, Cumberbatch. No, not Graham Norton. I think it was either Jimmy Kimmel or Fallon, that he said they're still reshooting stuff for Doctor Strange 2.
It's a month of reshooting. And that was 2 weeks ago when I heard it, that they've been doing it for a month. So I don't know if they're still shooting. But it's a lot. It's a lot of reshoots.
So there's a lot of things that they obviously changed to create this story. And that's probably just one of those writing moments, that writing room moments. They're powwowing ideas, and they probably had one specific moment where they came up with an idea and they said, wait, you know what? Push this aside for a second. What about that as a story? And then they just dove into it, and abandoned the original. And COVID and quarantine gave them some time, to play with that and write that. But the fact that they were able to get all these actors, they were able to write a beautiful script, able to give them all the right amount of screen time, showcasing
all the closure. All of them had closure. Even the villains had closure. I mean,
incredible.
And it's still a Tom Holland movie, right? Like it's not like Endgame. Everyone, it was like an Iron Man movie. It was Captain America. It was a bunch of people. This is a Tom Holland movie, like straight up.
Hands down, Tom Holland Spider-Man movie with a lot of beautiful guest starring moments. A lot, and that's the word I'm using for beautiful, because it's a beautiful film. It's great. It is one of Marvel's best. Right there. You said it. It is a better.
I think so.
Endgame will always just be epic because you can't beat portals. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like that. That scene is so hard until they.
You can't beat the last hour of Endgame. No. I mean, there's no. That was 20 movies in the making. Yeah,
exactly. But in fairness, this was
7 movies.
War, Infinity War, Endgame, 9, 10 movies in the making.
10 movies. Yeah.
They did their thing. They very cleverly, and I still feel this was a bit of a Feige going, oh, DC wants to do multiverses.
I don't even know what DC is anymore, man. I don't know what.
The only reason I bring it up, because I don't think it was originally, because remember, there was a lot of rumors that they might bring back Tom Cruise as Iron Man for like a cameo moment. Bring back what's his name, Jim from The Office, as a Captain America. Like all these people that they knew almost got the part. And like,
that's funny. I didn't hear that. I didn't.
Yeah, there was a whole rumor about that, about bringing in these people, and actually, I keep forgetting his name now. Kaczynski's wife, Emily Blunt. She was almost Black Widow, so they would have had her as Black Widow. Like there was a lot of these actors for the multiverse. So, to other words, no, they'll all look different in different multiverses or whatever, and play with that, and they could look the same. They weren't, because at the time they hadn't acquired Fox yet. So I don't think they're really thinking of doing a cinematic multiverse. So if they're thinking about doing it with their own properties, I don't think they're thinking about doing it with Sony's properties, because that's Sony's 100%. Marvel, outside of, Marvel inspired and, the base contract that they have a Marvel Association, it wasn't the way it's shared right now as a property with Tom Holland Spider-Man. So I don't think that was ever originally in the cards. And then I just feel that after DC did it with The Flash and the CW and saying, hey, all the movies, all the shows, they're one universe. And now they're bringing it home in the Flashpoint movie with The Flash, with Michael Keaton's Batman.
With Michael Keaton, which should be okay. I think that's going to be okay. But
right. I mean, you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, this helps that, because
it does. It really does.
I'm personally not the biggest fan of the Michael Keaton Batman. Now I'm kind of excited to see it, because if they got.
No, I'm excited. I was a fan of that, but yeah.
So we'll see.
I mean, listen, the biggest thing that happened in DC in the last week or two, what I've heard, is that in the series, the Flash finally got his gold boots. That's like the big and gold boots.
They explain it too. They made it
8 seasons and gold boots.
Big moment, like finally, that's how long it took him to get his complete actual comic book Flash. But yeah, so aside from that, it's like I felt like it's almost like Feige and Marvel. The guys at the table was like, all right, we'll do cinematic universes. All right, let's do it. And we'll start with Spider-Man.
Yeah, every time, man, I don't know what Feige's gonna do with X-Men, but I'm excited, because if he could do that,
they pulled this off well.
And I don't want to give Feige all the credit, but he deserves a lot of the credit.
Well, he's the orchestrator and organizer. Obviously, it's a lot of great minds make all this happen.
Well, there's the head of Sony too, Amy Pascal. That it's part of that too. But it's for sure Feige. Yeah,
as far as the creativity, they're not his ideas. He's just the guy that's doing a good job of saying no to bad ideas and yes to good ideas, and then getting these directors and writers to all share a vision and just keep this. I mean, I can't think of anyone who's done this like Marvel's been doing it. You can't. I just can't. Not Star Wars.
Everyone's trying to do that. Everyone is trying to do it.
Star Trek, like not any of them have been able to do what Marvel's doing.
Listen, because of Marvel, everyone's doing a universe on there. Dude, they have like 7 Chicago Fire shows, universe, Law and Order. I'm not joking. Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Law and they're all connected. And it's because Marvel made this a thing, you know?
They all do the spin-offs have been around for a while. You know, we go back to like the Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley.
But now they're doing crossovers.
But it's the nonstop crossovers to the point where it's not really crossovers anymore. It's just a shared universe.
It's a shared universe.
Like the comic books. And literally they've made the comic books completely come to live action. Live action Marvel Universe is the comic books now, where we just have shows and movies. And like now, like at the beginning, it's like, why wasn't these people here? Why weren't these people here? Like people kind of do it with they did a little bit with the Eternals because they're such a big thing. Like, well, then why weren't they here? And then you start doing the Black Widows, but they're pretty smart with the blip. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure they'll come out with another mechanism. Yeah,
you know, in my mind, I didn't think what's her name? Yelena was like blipped out. Like in my mind, I didn't think about that. I was like, yeah, she would have been. And maybe most of the Black Widows were blipped out too.
That's why they haven't been around and not been helping. And it's like, it makes sense.
And all that happened like right before Infinity War. So, you know, it makes sense.
What makes sense too, I don't know if they'll show it, but I think like back to Hawkeye for a minute, I feel that Kingpin was blipped. And that's the big problem with Ronin, is that he came back and this guy off, because that's the whole thing with the Kingpin. He's the Kingpin of all these different organized crime units. In other words, there isn't like the mafia syndicate and the Yakuza and the whatever. Like, they all use their own thing, and then he runs all of them.
Yeah.
It's like,
no, but I don't think he was blipped, because they said that he's the one that told the informant to tell Ronin to go after the but Echo's dad.
Yeah, because he's trying to have him killed. But I think that maybe he was blipped and now he's back, so he wants Ronin.
But that was during the blip. All the Ronin stuff was during the blip.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then he came back and found out that this guy Ronin killed all his people. Was killing while he was gone for 5 years. The people who were left behind, this guy was wiping through them. So I was like, I want to find that guy and kill him. It just makes sense to me. And since we're spoiling anyways, all spoils, and we're spoiling Hawkeye, I think that Hawkeye's wife is a Sparrow. You know what? You didn't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but you're probably familiar with the comic. The American S.H.I.E.L.D. version of the Black Widows were Sparrows. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had, I think it was Mockingjay. Was her name, that she had 2 seasons, and she was like the Black Widow equivalent from S.H.I.E.L.D. I think Hawkeye's wife is a former Sparrow.
I mean, she was speaking Russian, like easy, like nothing.
I think is hers, and I feel that she's something.
Oh, and that's who he's trying to protect. Because we don't know who he's trying to protect. I mean, in my mind, I thought it was gonna be like a Moon Knight connection or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's his wife. I think
that makes sense.
Or someone's watch that was like her handler or whatever, and she was a Sparrow. And I think the moment we're gonna get is there's gonna be a fight scene. You know what I mean? There's gonna be a fight scene where they come after his family, whatever, and she's gonna whoop some butt.
She's gonna be a badass. Yeah, it would be pretty cool.
But, and remember, she was good friends with Natasha, and why would they be good friends? You know, because they're kind of cut from the same cloth, and like I just really feel there's gonna be a lot to that that's gonna make sense. So. And she might have been a double agent type thing, because remember, they didn't get into detail. We assumed he was talking about Natasha when he says the shot I didn't take. When they said, what was your best shot? And he goes, the shot I didn't take.
It's the one that I didn't take, yeah.
When I didn't take, and we assumed that's Natasha, but it might not have been. It might have been her, and she was like double agenting, you know what I mean? Where she was like both, working both sides, and then they like, oh, you got to take her out because she's betrayed us to the Russians, and then that's how they bond it. So we'll see. We're going to get more. I don't know how much we're going to get, because
we'll find out next week.
One more episode. And they built so much up, so like I'm looking forward to Moon Knight. And again, that just played a small smidget in this wonderful, spectacular, amazing Spider-Man.
Listen, as soon as I saw Kingpin's picture on last night's episode of Hawkeye, I texted you. I'm like, dude, Charlie Cox is going to be in the movie tomorrow. He's going to be in Spider-Man. That's it.
Sure, we knew it. It was like perfect timing. And now what I'm curious, they timed that perfectly. So that would happen the day before Spider-Man's released. So what's going to happen Wednesday, maybe after Spider-Man was released? What's the moment? Because the thing that's so different. We don't know the situation with the timelines.
We don't know the timeline.
Yeah, because this is literally right after Far From Home, which is literally weeks after. So this is still a month. WandaVision hasn't happened yet.
WandaVision hasn't. No, it hasn't.
Timeline, and what actually makes that interesting because we got the trailer to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is
He
that
visits Wanda. Yeah.
that's with the multiverse before Wanda did her thing.
Mm.
So it actually made sense why we got that in the trailer. He's actually not looking to punish her or anything like that. He
needs help.
He needs help.
Yeah.
And the beauty is, I'm telling you, the next thing I'm super excited for after seeing this movie and seeing this another 2 times, I can't wait, is seeing that what if Doctor Strange in that.
Listen, I love Doctor Strange just because of the look of the mirror universe. I need more of that. And I'm glad we got a lot of it in this movie. So if I get more of that, I'm fine. I'm all in. I'm all in.
That whole fight sequence of Doctor Strange and Spider-Man was awesome.
He beat him with math, with geometry.
But I love it with the cape and the portalizing him and the way he would try to work around. He's such a
beat him.
Yeah,
he beat him.
Spider-Man. He temporarily beat him. That was funny. Ned brings him back, and that's a callback to the Loki. I've been falling for half an hour. He's like, I've been hanging on the Grand Canyon for 12 hours.
You were in the Grand Canyon? Yeah.
This guy needed your.
Yeah. So the Spider-Man's got bad at. This guy would have really used your help.
It's so well done, man. I can't wait to do this again with Yo Piece after he sees it for the first time.
I can't wait for him to see.
Because we're gonna things. There's gonna be more experiences in the theater. There's gonna be a little more moments.
We're gonna catch more things.
Yeah. You're catching it the same way, the same theater, or are you seeing a different format?
No, I think we might do IMAX.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing IMAX tomorrow, and then I'm really dumbing it down on Sunday and going to a smaller theater, reclining seats, but like a smaller.
That's what I did today. I did a small theater with reclining, but it was still awesome.
Storyline on this. I mean, I can't wait to watch this at home. You know what I mean? Like 3 months or whatever. As soon as it's on Disney Plus or whatever, I'm paying the $20, $30, whatever. I'm paying for it. I'm doing it. I'm going to see this. This is one of the best superhero movies. It really is. It's by far the best Spider-Man movie, and it's one of the best superhero movies.
And it makes all the Spider-Man movies better. It makes. I want to go watch the Tobey Maguire movies now. I want to go back and watch them.
I'm looking forward to it, especially, the Dr. Octopus one, you can't beat it. 1 and 2, 3 was a hot mess, and they were so smart not bringing any of that back other than in conversation, about what happened to his Venom situation with the alien.
Which is awesome that he brought all of that up.
Aliens. And then I realized that post-credit with the, aliens. You got to watch the Venom movies, man. They're not great movies, but they're entertaining.
Yeah, I'll watch them. It's just they always came out. And I never really liked, it wasn't like one of those movies I had to go watch.
No.
So
it's like Morbius.
Plus, none of them are free anywhere. I can't find them anywhere.
It's like Morbius. I'm going to see Morbius, but I'm not doing a backflips. Like, I got to see that. I can't wait to see it till it comes out. Like, there's going to be some spoilers, but I'm not too concerned about their spoilers now because I don't even know how they'll connect. That Vulture situation and all that, I don't even know.
He doesn't know he's Peter Parker anymore. So how does that connect? I don't know, man. It's...
Sony went oops. But yeah, because it's a more
maybe now he knows. He knows Spider-Man put him in jail, but he doesn't know who he is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So he's still in that universe.
You know what? That makes sense about because they're in New York, and that kind of makes sense of the Toby thing because Venom. See, I don't know because in the Morbius he's referencing a Venom. He goes, "I'm Venom." He was just kidding when he makes the face.
Yeah.
He goes, so is he referencing the Tom Hardy Venom or the
No, there's no way they're gonna bring back Topher Grace. It's Tom Hardy. That's Tom Hardy.
Well, remember the Topher Grace Venom died, right? Didn't he die?
No, the symbiote died.
The symbiote died, not Eddie Brock.
Not Topher Grace. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how they do it. It's gonna be interesting, man. This was fun. I'm glad we did this. So
follow us. This is the link below somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. I have it's there, down there. That way.
It's most likely down there.
Right here.
Actually, the link is going to be in the description. So
there you go.
Look at the description. It's going to have all our info. We're missing one host. You'll see him next week when we talk about it again.
Yeah, for sure. And for everyone watching, thank you for joining us. Please check out our episodes, Fanatically Correct. We just did we did a short review thing, but obviously you jumped from that to this because you saw it. Because I'm not even sorry. I don't know what you were thinking. It's a description. We said spoilers a million times.
Said spoilers. And most likely the thumbnail is going to say spoilers. So
I'm glad I got it out of my system because I don't know how poker face I'd be able to be sitting next to my buddy tomorrow watching it in IMAX. So I was like, Ooh.
Me too, man. I don't know how I'm gonna sit next to my wife on Sunday going.
He's gonna put a piece of cardboard between you, like.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna do it tomorrow when I want to binge those movies, and I'm watching all of them, and she's gonna be like, "Why are you watching all these?"
Oh, no reason at all. I do know some people who have avoided the Yo Piece's wife. I'm gonna tell you now, that's gonna be interesting because I think she avoided all the trailers. I think she even told her children that if they mention anything from the trailer, she'd kill them. So
what?
So I think she's even avoided all the trailers. So I think it's like she's gonna she's gonna lose her mind on Sunday. I mean, I think that she literally does not know half of that.
Listen, we were literally in high school when the Tobey Maguire movie came out, so I'm sure she's gonna lose her mind.
For anyone, I will tell you, I get it with the marketing ploy and everything, but truth be told, if all of this would 100% been rumors, and they hadn't shown any of this, they hadn't shown any of the villains, Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, any of that, and because once you saw that, then you're like, okay, I think there's a really good chance we're gonna get Toby and Andrew. Like, you got that was the confirmation. So if they had just kept it very vague, I think everyone still would have seen it. And then the only thing they might have saved like relationships and lives, because there's no way that wouldn't have gotten spoiled like they're doing right now. But it would have been so much worse. Like I saw things like
way worse.
Yeah, I saw on YouTube. I saw like straight up like on the preview and the thumbnail. Already seen the video. I saw the three of them together on the scaffolding, and I'm like, and I knew it was gonna happen. And then
a lot of that. Listen, a lot of that is studio leaked right now. That,
of course,
I mean, they had to.
No, but some of it's already like you can see it. It's
people. Oh, you mean after the release, just fans? Yeah.
So I'm telling you right now, if that had happened, we're waiting for today, Thursday, for our release, and people would have seen that after not even having any idea. I did like people would have been losing their minds. And then like on Saturday or Sunday when someone goes like, "Oh yeah, Toby's in," like what? Like it would have been so out of left field that people were like, "I'm not your friend anymore." Like you know what I mean? Like ending relationships and friends. Like
it would have been bad. It would have been bad.
In bad. So I almost feel like, hey, you know what? We should just like kind of quell the things and just leak some of this stuff and throw some of it.
They had to, because that's how they got more. First of all, they have to make money, right? So they can't fully promote it with those two actors, but they had to leak some stuff. Yeah. They had to.
The only thing I could say is like we knew, some things were already confirmed in the trailers, which all the villains were. But we were like, yeah, most likely. So like, but even then we were still surprised on how they did it, how it was presented and everything. Imagine if we didn't have any clue. You know what I mean? That first moment Doc Ock hit the bridge, we'd have lost our mind.
Like, what am I watching?
The grenade, and then you see Lizard in the just the way everything happened. Then the Lizard inside the crate with Doc and Doc, and the next thing you know, and then I'm like, people would have just been like running around the theater in circles. You know what I mean? It would have been such an overload of.
It would have been too much. It would have been too much.
You would have been passing out. I think people would have been passing out.
And as soon as you get online, everything would be on there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's it. Come Friday, like people are like, no, like people breaking their laptops.
Listen, I was offline since Sunday. Like all my socials off Sunday, everything until today. Like I don't know how anyone could be online right now.
Yeah, I give kudos to people who can completely avoid trailers and stuff. Like, I wish I had the willpower to do it. I'm not as bad as my buddy GAT because he reads scripts and stuff like that leak. Like I'm not.
No, that's a little bit too much. But
and I don't go hunting for leaked photos and leaked footage, but I do like trailers. You know what I mean? And if they're willing to do the trailer, and that's why I sometimes get upset with how they cut trailers. I'm like, I didn't need to see all that. Like, come on, man. But it's like I gotta watch it.
They cut it pretty well, though. I mean, in hindsight, these trailers did pretty good hiding, but also letting you know that hey, they're in this movie. Kind of like, are they? But no.
Well, you had the Tom Holland giveaway was terrible. I mean, the number one, the internet when they obviously forgot to clip it.
Just like,
when the lizard gets punched.
Oh yeah, but see, that's something the studio did on purpose.
Yeah.
The studio did that totally on purpose.
Yeah, but they left him being punched. Like, oh, who's that going to be? It's like, it's not Miles Morales. It's going to they removed one of the other Spider-Men, and then you even knew it the way he's not in the center on the Statue of Liberty scene where they all three play. And that too is like, come on, man! Like we know your trickery already that you're removing guys.
So good, man. It was good though. It was good.
They hadn't had that. Just imagine the experience of not having any clue that that's where this movie was going to go. You know what I mean?
It was a fun ride, man.
And what's crazy is how impactful it was with us knowing, with us seeing things already, with us,
and it was still good. And it was still good.
damn, they just still.
There were still scenes that were like, man, Willem Dafoe is killing it in that scene. Like,
dude, Dafoe is sick.
And he wasn't a traitor at all, really. But he's like the main villain. He's the main villain.
They only showed the ball, so you knew it. You knew it was gonna be a Green Goblin, and you saw the ball, and then it's like you just knew they just didn't want to give away any of his performance because his performance was sick. I mean, he brought it. Yeah. He brought it. And I'll tell you right now, I wasn't sure how it was gonna be with the Lizard and Sandman, because same thing, the way they showed them in the trailer, I didn't even know it was gonna be their voices or not. I'm like, I wonder if they weren't able to get certain people, and it was awesome. They brought everyone back, man. It was good. So worth it.
It was good.
Look forward to tomorrow. But
yeah. So get some rest because you're gonna fanboy tomorrow, and I'm gonna get rest for Sunday.
Like, share, all that good stuff.
Comments.
And comment. Let us know your experience and what you liked the most, and or if we're wrong and you disliked it and you felt meh. Good luck with that, meh. But I doubt it.
I doubt it. I mean, if GAT didn't give you a meh, then
man, he did. He loved it. So, well, thank you for joining us. This is Omega saying peace.
M.s.K, peace out.
And there you have it, folks. This has been Fanatically Correct. Until next time, you crazy kids. Signing off.